Next on Worcester News tonight, reports of an armed threat turn out to be a costly hoax. State and local police responded to the incident. Plus, hundreds of cars towed in Worcester. The city's DPW says residents are not complying with declared parking bans. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Olivia Lemon. We begin tonight with another wintry mix expected to hit tomorrow night. We're not expecting a lot of snow, but roads could get slick Wednesday night into Thursday morning. Here's meteorologist Tim Kelley with the first look at our forecast.
Yeah, pretty cold day today. Boy, do we have a storm off to the south. There's a rain-snow mix in central Oklahoma, flooding rain and thunderstorms in Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia. This is a wall of weather coming right at us. Not getting here for another 24 hours. Clear, beautiful moon in the sky outside tonight. Temperature's going to fall. We only made it to about 25 or 30 today. Tomorrow morning, very similar to what we had this morning. Single numbers to lower teens. Clouds are on our doorstep. This is 7 o'clock in the morning, so very similar but with less wind. The wind will start coming in from off the ocean. The clouds will start coming in from the south. Noontime, we're up to about 25 degrees, so it's a cold, dry Wednesday. The clouds are going to thicken up. Now we're getting to 8 o'clock at night. It's snowing in Connecticut. We're at about 30 degrees. We're going to get a period of snow tomorrow night from 11 o'clock to 2 o'clock. Could get 3 inches of snow. Starts melting during the morning commute Thursday, and then much warmer in the 10-day in a few minutes.
Millbury police is investigating a swatting incident at a restaurant in town. The department's chief says a man claimed to be armed, threatening to shoot up the Wheelock Inn. The call prompted a large police presence around 1 a.m. this morning. Our Chandler Walsh joins us from Millbury now with the details. Chandler?
Olivia, police took the call seriously. The Millbury Police Department surrounded the Wheelock Inn here, and they also took care of the neighborhood to make sure everyone was safe. Chief DeSorcy says he's happy that no one was hurt and it was all a hoax.
I have a gun, and I want to shoot everyone here.
Okay, sir. Well, don't do that. How about you and I talk, okay?
Police surround the Wheelock Inn in Millbury after a threatening call. When officers arrived at the inn after 1 in the morning, the building was closed for the night.
Tied up quite a few officers just because someone had nothing else better to do this morning.
Police say the call ended up being a hoax, but they had to take it seriously. Over the phone, the caller identified himself as Paul and said he was in the Wheelock Inn bathroom. Before hanging up, he told dispatch there was no chance.
Send everyone.
Hey, Paul, stay up.
Owner Stephen Navalsky woke up to police knocking on his door. He went with them to unlock the building. He's owned restaurants for decades and says nothing like this has ever happened.
It didn't seem right, but we came down, you have to do what you got to do, especially when someone threatens to shooting people. Like, you see what's going on, it's just people just don't think. They do stupid things.
The incident drained police resources. Every Millbury officer on shift responded. State police and officers from Worcester and Grafton were also on scene to assist. Millbury Chief Donald DeSorcy says swatting incidents like this are serious and costly.
We're busy enough with the everyday calls. We could have had other calls that came in, and there probably would have been a delay in response to those calls, medical calls, etc., or fire calls. We have them all the time. That could have catastrophic effects to someone else who has absolutely nothing to do with this whole situation.
The department is investigating where the call came from. DeSorcy says it showed up as an Ohio number, but he doesn't believe it was from out of state.
I don't believe that that's accurate. There's ways to manipulate that information, and I'm sure that's what happened this morning.
Millbury Police Chief DeSorcy says they're hoping to find the caller soon and bring criminal charges against him. Live in Millbury, Chandler Walsh, Worcester News Tonight.
Some students at Worcester's Abby Kelley Foster Charter School are not happy over the removal of a Colin Kaepernick picture. It was put up inside the school as part of a Black History celebration, and now members of the Student Council are asking for it to be put back. Our Cam Jandro is live now with more. Cam?
Olivia, the students who created the poster say it was aimed at highlighting police brutality and its impact on the black community. The poster also contains photos of people who died at the hands of police. The students say it offended an assistant principal who has police officers in his family. They say the assistant principal then asked them to put a positive police-related poster next to the Kaepernick poster. Senior William Gatow says he and others who worked on the poster then decided to take it down because it would not properly convey their message. Members of the Abby Kelley Student Council say their goal was to shed light on the reality of black history.
Focus on the good, they focus on Rosa Parks and like people who created the first black hairlines and stuff like that, but they don't really get into detail about the negative that's happening in the black community right now. So we decided to take this month to, instead of talking about all the good and positive that happens, to talk about the reality.
It needs to be sugar-coated for students, but then again, we're high school students, and I feel like we should be able to have these conversations, and if we're not able to have these conversations, who's going to have them with us?
Now, in a statement, Abby Kelley Executive Director Brian Haas says the students will be able to put their poster back on display when they return to school on Monday. There will also be a meeting between the students involved as well as the Abby Kelley administration. Olivia.
All right, Cam, thank you for that. The city of Worcester says more than 400 vehicles were towed after the most recent snowstorm. DPW issues declared winter parking bans during almost every storm to help make room for plows and emergency vehicles to get through. If cars are not moved, they are either ticketed or towed. Worcester's fire department says getting to an emergency call can be difficult if drivers do not follow the bans.
As most people know, are very, very tight. Cars parked on both sides of the street. It's already difficult to get down the road. Now when you have snow involved, if you're narrowing that street any further because of the snow, makes it all that much harder.
And the city sometimes offers free parking in garages for people who need to move their cars. The ban generally restricts parking to one side of the street, but there are other areas where parking is not allowed on either a side or during a declared parking ban. A heartwarming end to the season for a high school basketball team in Uxbridge. The team manager taking the court for the first time all season, and his performance was definitely one to remember. Our Roslyn Flaherty has the story.
This is the moment 15-year-old Jaden Morales says he'll remember forever. He scored the final 10 points for Uxbridge High School's JV basketball team.
I was really proud and excited because I didn't even know that would happen.
The sophomore at Uxbridge High School has Asperger's syndrome and is the JV's team manager. In the last game of the season against St. Bernard's, he received a jersey and the players made him feel like he was part of the team.
I didn't even expect it to happen at all.
His mom, Jennifer, didn't know the special moment was going to happen and quickly pulled out her phone to record.
I was like a baby bawling in tears. So happy for him and so touched by what all the players did on both teams.
She says it hasn't always been easy for Jaden.
I always tend to worry about him because he is different. He had trouble last year with a few kids picking on him.
But she now knows how many kids appreciate him. Jaden says he's thankful for what the team did and lives by his idol John Cena's slogan.
John Cena always says to never give up, and that's what I do. I never give up.
Now Jaden says he's excited to return as the team manager again next season. So Olivia, a really heartwarming story.
All right, definitely. His mom must be so proud of him. Thank you, Roslyn. Northbridge's school committee gives the Friends of Lasell Field their support for a one-year capital expenditure to renovate the athletic field. Members voted 4-0 last week. Right now, the Friends of Lasell Field are looking at close to $3 million to replace the grass field with synthetic turf, redesign the field so they would be the appropriate size for field hockey and lacrosse, as well as football and soccer, and make other improvements. According to the Friends of Lasell Field, the cost of the renovations would end up saving the town more than $430,000 over the 12-year lifespan of the turf. A Worcester man is charged with robbing the same Subway restaurant 3 different times in less than a month. He is being held on $10,000 after his arraignment today. 24-year-old William Wally is charged with 3 counts of armed robbery while masked. Prosecutors say the suspect matched the same description in each robbery: a tall masked man with a large kitchen knife demanding money from the register. Wally is due back in court March 18th. If he does not post bail, he's ordered to stay away from the witnesses against him. WPI is doing more to get young girls involved in career fields typically dominated by men. Tuesday, elementary students got a chance to do hands-on engineering experiments and demonstrations. Our Brittany Schaefer has more.
After participating in WPI's STEM activities, 10-year-old Casey Cluett says she wants to be an engineer.
Yes, I am interested in engineering and figuring out problems.
Tuesday, girls in the 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade took part in 4 different projects. They learned skills from rocket science to robots.
We were making rockets using balloons and different types of strings. And then we were making scribble bots, which was my favorite, because it was really cool, like, to use a motor.
What we're doing with them is developing water filtration devices. So they get to design them. We have 4 components that they can use to build their device, and they get to choose 3.
The 2-day workshop takes place during National Engineers Week. Student organizers say it's important to show young girls they have what it takes to pursue a male-dominated field.
They get to see us as women in engineering, really teaching them about different types of engineering and what we do. So it gives them self-confidence and kind of encouragement to join STEM themselves.
When I was growing up, I didn't really see anyone in the STEM field that looked like me, and so I think having college students who are pursuing science and engineering and math gives them something to aspire to, and I think that that's so valuable that they can see that there is a place for them in the STEM field in the future.
Casey's mother, Jen Cluett, says the activities gave her daughter a great way to stay busy and learn during school vacation week.
Here the weather is so difficult to be outside, so it's great to be able to come in and try new things, explore new opportunities. She was really excited about this. All week we've been looking forward to it.
And more than 70 girls participated today. The program was free thanks to a donation from ExxonMobil. Live in the studio, Brittany Schaefer, Worcester News Tonight.